You think your car battery dying every 3 years is normal? It's not. With the right care, it can actually last up to 10 years, and most drivers have no idea how easy it is. Stick around because I'm about to show you the exact habits that make car batteries last a decade instead of dying early. Secret number 1, keep your battery clean. Like, actually clean. Alright, this might sound obvious, but it's the number one reason most car batteries fail before their time. Over months of driving, dirt, moisture, and corrosion build up around your battery terminals. You'll see that white or greenish powdery stuff. That's corrosion, and it's basically your battery slowly dying. What happens is, corrosion interferes with the flow of electricity. Your alternator tries harder to charge the battery, your starter works harder to crank the engine, and eventually, everything's struggling. Over time, this stress shortens the life of both the battery and the charging system. Experienced car owners check their battery once a month. They pop the hood, take a quick look, and if they see any gunk, they clean it. You don't even need fancy tools. Just a bit of baking soda mixed with water and an old toothbrush. Gently scrub the terminals, rinse with a little water, and dry them off completely. And here's a pro trick. Once it's clean, rub a little petroleum jelly or apply dielectric grease on the terminals. That creates a protective layer and stops corrosion from coming back. Do this every few months, and you'll add years of life to your battery. Secret number 2, drive long enough to actually charge it. A lot of people don't realize this, but your alternator doesn't fully charge your battery unless you drive for at least 20 to 30 minutes at a time. Those quick runs to the grocery store or school drop-offs don't give it enough time to recover from the energy used to start the car. Think of your battery like a phone. If you keep unplugging it after just 10% charge every day, it'll wear out way faster. The same logic applies here. Short trips drain your battery little by little, and if you do that all week, it never reaches full charge. Over time, that causes something called sulfation, where crystals form on the lead plates inside the battery, permanently reducing its capacity. The fix? Simple. Take your car for a decent drive at least once a week. Get it out on the open road for half an hour. That's enough time for the alternator to top the battery up properly and dissolve any minor sulfation before it becomes a real problem. If your car mostly sits idle, invest in a battery maintainer, also called a trickle charger. It keeps the battery topped off automatically, especially during long periods when you're not driving. That's what pros do with seasonal cars, classic cars, or even daily drivers parked for weeks. Secret number 3, tighten and secure those terminals loose. Battery terminals might seem like no big deal, but they cause all sorts of sneaky problems. When the connection isn't snug, the flow of electricity gets interrupted. That means your alternator might be charging, but not effectively. You'll get symptoms like dim headlights, weird electrical glitches, or your car suddenly not starting even though the lights work fine. And when that happens repeatedly, your battery suffers unnecessary stress. Experienced drivers always check that their battery clamps are tight, not overly cranked down, but snug enough that you can't wiggle them by hand. They also make sure the battery itself is secure in its tray. If it moves around while driving, it can vibrate and crack internally over time. Vibration is one of the silent killers of car batteries, so don't underestimate that little bracket holding it down. A properly secured battery is a happy battery. Secret number 4, keep it cool, literally. Here's something most people never consider. Heat is far worse for your battery than cold. Sure, cold mornings make it harder to start the car, but hot weather kills batteries faster. Inside your battery, there's a chemical reaction constantly happening. The hotter it gets, the faster that reaction speeds up, and the more quickly your battery's internal materials break down. That's why people in hot climates like Texas or Arizona often replace batteries more often, even if they drive less. So, what can you do? First, try to park in the shade or a garage whenever possible. Keeping the engine bay cooler helps a lot. Second, make sure your battery's heat shield or cover if your car has one, is in place. They're not just decoration, they protect your battery from excess engine heat. And if you're changing your battery, go for one with a slightly higher heat tolerance or rated for high temperature use. They cost a bit more, but they handle summer heat much better. Secret number 5, turn off power drains before you shut off. Here's a small daily habit that has a big payoff over time. Before turning your car off, switch off your headlights, AC, radio, and any other electrical accessories. Why? Because when you restart the engine next time, your battery gets hit with a massive load, cranking the starter and powering all those accessories at once. Experienced drivers know to reduce that initial load. They start the car first, let it idle for a few seconds, then turn on lights or AC. It's such a tiny habit, but over years it keeps the battery from working unnecessarily hard during every start cycle. And if your car has those automatic lights or start-stop features, you can even disable them in certain situations, especially if you're parked for short stops or in traffic. Every unnecessary restart uses battery power, and that adds up over time. Secret number 6, don't ignore the warning signs. Your car battery doesn't just die out of nowhere. It gives you hints first. The problem is most people ignore them. If your engine cranks slower than usual, your lights dim slightly when you start the car, or your power windows move sluggishly, those are early warnings. It means your battery is struggling or not charging properly. Experienced drivers don't wait until it's completely dead. They grab a cheap battery tester, you can get one for under $20, and check the voltage. A healthy, fully charged battery should read about 12.6 volts with the engine off, and around 13.7 to 14.7 volts when the engine's running. If your readings are off, you'll know whether it's the battery, the alternator, or something else. Catching these issues early can save you from being stranded on a cold morning or late at night in a parking lot. Secret number 7, keep it fully charged during storage. If you're leaving your car parked for more than a couple of weeks, maybe you're traveling or it's a weekend car, don't just let it sit. Even when your car is off, things like the clock, alarm system, and computer modules draw a tiny amount of power called a parasitic drain. Over time, that's enough to completely flatten your battery. Once a battery gets deeply discharged like that, it never fully recovers. Its capacity drops permanently. That's why experienced drivers always connect their cars to a smart trickle charger when storing them. These chargers automatically sense when the battery needs juice and when it's full. They're not the old school ones that overcharge. They're safe to leave, connected for months. So, if you're someone who doesn't drive daily, get one of these. It's one of the best small investments you can make for your car. Secret number 8, use the right battery and don't cheap out. Here's the final secret. And probably the most overlooked one. Not all batteries are the same. You might think a battery's a battery, but that's not true at all. Each vehicle has specific requirements for cold cranking amps, CCA, reserve capacity, and size. Using a cheaper, lower-rated battery might start the car fine at first, but it'll constantly be working at its limit. And when it's under strain, it wears out much faster. Experienced drivers always choose a high-quality battery from a trusted brand, one that meets or exceeds their car's original specs. They also check the date code before buying. Batteries sitting on the shelf for over a year are already aging before they even touch your car. And if you're upgrading to something like an AGM battery, which lasts longer and handles deep cycles better, make sure your charging system is compatible. Pairing the right battery with a healthy alternator setup is key to hitting that 10-year mark. So, there you have it. The 8 simple habits that can help your car battery last 10 years or more. Keep it clean, drive long enough to charge it, tighten the connections, protect it from heat, reduce power loads, pay attention to warning signs, use a maintainer when parked, and always choose a quality battery that fits your car. None of these are complicated, but together they completely change how long your battery lasts. Most people replace their battery every 2 to 4 years because they unknowingly abuse it. But if you treat it right, 8 to 10 years is absolutely possible, and many experienced drivers prove it every day. Now, I want to know, how long did your last battery live? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell, because next week we're breaking down the truth about car battery myths that mechanics never talk about. Thanks for watching, drive safe, and remember, a little care goes a long way, especially when it comes to your car's heart, the battery.